battle between Dallas and Austin.
Oh man, that's a real battle.
It's a real battle. So whether you're thinking about moving to Texas, maybe you already live in one of those cities and you're trying to figure, okay, do I want to do this? Do I want to move to the other city? Or maybe you just love knowing what's going on and you're thinking about making a trip. This show is for you. We're going to hit all of those things. We're going to talk about which city is better, Dallas or Austin. Stay with us.
Yes, I'm Tisha White, and this is Brian White, and we love talking about all things real estate and beyond.
And beyond. So today we're going beyond, and we're talking about two different cities. We're talking about Austin and Dallas, and really the pros and cons of each, and what makes those cities awesome.
So the good thing is Brian and I lived in both of these cities, didn't we?
Yeah, we actually lived in both cities for a really long time. I lived in Austin for, 8 years?
10.
And 10? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I lived there for 12.
When you get older, the years seem to drag on, right? You're like, oh, no, that was just 2 weeks ago. No, it was about 2.5 years.
I know. So that's 24 years worth of time. So that's a long time. We lived in Dallas for 13 now. I lived in Austin for 12.
And that's this time. Right, so I grew up here, went to
that's right,
and here is in the Dallas area. So, I went to middle school, started high school here. I've been here a really long time, so we know a lot about both cities. We're going to talk about both, and a little bit of business, but mostly a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get started.
Okay, let's do that. What are we doing first?
Well, our first question is, let me find it over here. I have a question here that's important to ask.
This is an important question.
Ooh. First of all, this is one of the biggest differences. When we're talking about like Dallas, what do we mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In terms of size, and what are we talking about?
So Dallas it's truly massive, right? It's we're up to 7.5 million people. 7.5 million people.
Now, are you talking the DFW area?
Yeah, right. So, so when we talk about Dallas, that's the Dallas Metropolitan area, and that's everything from all the way down to Rockwall and Forney. That's in the lower right, the southeastern corner, all the way up to Denton and Sanger and Northlake and Crum in the northwest. Just way the other end of the.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half drive. It is fully an hour drive.
Yeah.
Up from McKinney in the northeast, down to Mansfield and Aledo down in the southwest. So 7.5 million people makes it, I think, number 4.
Yeah,
number 4 market in the country, the 4th largest market in the country.
Yeah. So let's compare that to Austin, and let's talk a little bit about the size of Austin, DFW Metroplex.
Yeah. So Austin is still a super big town, right? It's really too big to call a town.
It really is. Like
it's way bigger than town.
They try to keep it a town years ago, but now it's
yeah. So it's crazy, and it's even grown massively since we left.
Yeah.
All right. It's now over 2 million people.
Whoa.
More than 2 million people. So that actually makes it the number 11 market in the whole country.
Yeah.
So the 11th largest metropolitan area in the city.
And you can really feel the growth there when you drive around on the streets and feel the traffic there.
Yeah, for sure. So what's factored into that is everything from down south in New Braunfels all the way up to Georgetown, like way up in Williamson County. You can go all the way out east to Bastrop. Mm-hmm. And then super far west to I don't even remember how far west it was. Oh yeah, all the way out to Marble Falls, which is
beautiful area.
Just a beautiful area. Lots of hills, hill country, lots of trees.
Austin's really blessed with beautiful terrain out there. Lots of hills, lots of trees. Very beautiful.
Yeah, one of the things that really differentiates it is really the planning around this, and we hear this a lot. When we were in Austin, much into the late 90s, the whole city literally had a no growth strategy.
Yes, they really worked hard to keep it small. Everyone had the bumper sticker, "Keep Austin Weird," which was just small and kind of liberal and fun.
Yeah, yeah, and fun. So a no growth strategy, and unfortunately, they are still working through the road and traffic and planning issues associated with. If your strategy is no growth and
you're growing anyway,
and you end up growing anyway, then that's a whipping.
Yeah.
That really is a challenge. So,
you really do have a lot of traffic there. And they did finish not too long ago a loop that goes around Austin. And that's a huge help if you're going from one of those northern suburbs down to the southern suburbs. You can catch that loop, and man, you could fly on that.
It is a racetrack.
Yeah.
if you ever wanted to see our version of the Autobahn, then I think it's C-130 is our version of the Autobahn.
That loop, absolutely.
You can fly that up and go.
Yeah.
But so one of the greatest things about Dallas, though, is and we just had a client. We got a client that's moving in from Seattle, was just sharing this with us. They're shocked at how good our how good our highway system is.
Yeah.
We did a great job of, and we've kept building these loops over the years. And each time we build one of these loops, we're driving on it going, okay, there's nobody on this road.
Yeah.
When it first gets built. And then you look forward 5-10 years, and then all of a sudden it's packed, and then they got another loop, and then they got another loop. But they really did I got to hand it to the planning, the founding fathers, if you will, of the road system in Dallas. So it was pretty great.
Yeah, and also in Dallas, we're out in a suburb out here in Dallas, and it's a city all within itself, and we rarely have to go into high traffic areas. So there's a lot of pockets like that within the Dallas area that are self-contained in their own little suburb.
That's totally right. So anyway, thank you guys for joining. We do want to say hi to folks that are joining us, whether that's on Facebook, on YouTube, or wherever you might be joining us from. Shout out to Jason. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here. Look forward to catching up with all you folks that are joining us today. We got a question that we wanted to ask, and we just love to hear from people. Have you ever lived in Austin? Maybe you live in Austin now. Have you ever lived in Dallas? Maybe you live in Dallas now. We'd just love to hear where you are, how long you've been there, and maybe really most important, what's your favorite restaurant?
That is a really important question, and it's incredibly difficult to pick.
Yeah, that really is the most important question. And honestly, I think the thing we're going to talk about first is actually food.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about food.
So that is one of our favorite topics of all time.
Unfortunately, for some of us, you could tell. Enjoy our groceries. That's okay.
Oh no! I don't like where you're going with that.
I said for some of us, you were not included. That was not
okay. So let's talk about food. Let's start with Austin, because we did live in Austin for 12 years. And of course, Dallas has amazing food, but Austin, since when we lived there, it was smaller, it was tighter knit, it was easier to get to places. So you can get to amazing food very quickly. And we've always missed the food there.
Yeah, there's so many different eclectic kinds of food. There just so many spots. So we were struggling to pick some of our favorites. What was interesting is when I picked my favorites, although I wouldn't say that my favorite kind of food is Asian, just about all of my favorite Austin spots were Asian.
You wouldn't say your favorite food's Asian?
It's
it's Italian, a thick Italian food. Hi, Diego.
That's pretty great. The so like I was saying, I wouldn't say that Asian is necessarily my favorite, because clearly Italian and Diego's place, Giro Pizza, just down the corner from us in Dallas, is my favorite. But in Austin, some of my favorites are Asian.
Gosh, these were truly our 3 favorite restaurants down there.
Yeah, so we loved a little hole in the wall in North Austin. It's actually in Austin proper, but in the north side of town. Kim Fung, that's actually where we first got vermicelli noodles. And we have a little dog joining us, so we got
dogs are playing over there.
Dogs playing in the audience.
They like it.
Kim Fung's where we learned vermicelli noodles.
Oh man, they have started getting more locations, but you can get the best bowl of noodles for the cheapest.
It was for the cheapest, amazing, and it was BYOB. So you could bring a 6-pack of beer and just do everything.
Not the best place to go for a date night, though. We'd go for a date night, and it's literally like a 20-minute dinner. You'd be like, you have time to drink one beer, and you leave. You're like, okay, now what do we do with the next 2 hours? So,
it was.
Yeah. The next one is the Korea House. Oh my gosh, you're making my mouth water talking about the Korea House. The Korea House.
So again, another hole in the wall joint.
I'm getting so hungry. It's almost lunchtime. I'm actually dying right now.
And it was the Yuck Hey Bibimbap.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But I still love saying it because it was so good because he cracked a raw egg on. Oh, it's just.
We're going.
We need a road trip just for that.
And then, you know, as we got a little older and we were able to afford a little nicer food, we found Uchi.
Oh.
Now they do have one of those up here in the Dallas area, but it started down in Austin, and it is
Uchi is absolutely the best sushi. Whether it was in Austin, just south of Lake Austin, or up here in Uptown, Uchi is the best sushi that I've ever had, and you should go.
Yeah.
If you do go, you know, talk to a mortgage lender before you go, because it is a significant investment.
Take some plastic for sure.
Take some plastic.
So and then the other thing that I want to talk about, and I wouldn't necessarily call this our favorite restaurant, but there was really cool places to go, like the Salt Lick, the OG Salt Lick.
Oh, the OG.
You had to go to the OG, but it was, you know, out of town. They only took cash. I mean, they served you just massive plates of barbecue. I mean, it was, you know, just a fun, outdoorsy, very ostentatious thing to do.
Well, and it's an experience, right? Because if you roll up on a Saturday night, you're going to be waiting like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
The first time we showed up, also, not that this is a theme for us, but it was also BYOB. And people would roll up with.
But we had like a little thing of like beer or something. People had coolers.
People were rolling up in cooler. I mean, it looked like a Willie Nelson concert.
Yeah, because it was 2 hour wait, so they would be
gracious.
like just out front, you know, having their own drinks.
And it was cash only. So I mean, it was hilarious. The place does everything it could possibly do wrong. It's not as much anymore, but it used to be in the boonies, the middle of nowhere, cash only, and a long wait.
See, and then let's talk a little bit about Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, we obviously are a huge city, so you could go to different pockets all over Dallas and get some of the most amazing food. One place that we've always loved going is over to Legacy West.
Yes.
And that Legacy area, and we used to do our date nights over to that way before we started getting some amazing restaurants that way, but they really have some premier restaurants.
Well, and one of the greatest things about Legacy West, and for some reason now that we're on video, I'm blanking on the name of the place, but is the world's best food court.
Oh, that food court's amazing. Isn't it called Legacy West Food Court?
No, it's not. It's Legacy Hall.
Legacy Hall,
which is so hard. You can't imagine why I forgot about that. So it's called Legacy Hall, and it has a concert venue right next door to it. It has you can get macaroons and all kinds of crazy desserts. You can get great, actually, Korean food.
Yeah, great Korean food.
Unbelievable tacos.
Barbecue hamburgers. I mean, it's a really cool place to go. They even have wine bars set up in there and a bar in the middle. So it's a really fun place to go and hang out.
Actually, because of the live music, too. Again, a great date spot. If you have somebody that's hard to please, you can get different food.
Yeah, we love taking our kids there because they could go around and get their own food. So the other thing that I really like about Legacy Hall is it's next to a front gate.
And just down the road from a Tesla store. So, I mean, there really is something for everybody.
Something for everyone.
You know what else I love? And there's something similar to where we are. And then there's a place in Uptown, Dallas, so super close to downtown, called the Rustic. And again, great live music venue. Terrific food. It's kind of an indoor-outdoor, mostly outdoor sort of place with, you know, you can play cornhole, you can sit outside in the sun and just enjoy some great downtown outdoor atmosphere.
Yeah, but now we have the premier destination out in Bartonville, Texas, of all places, and it is Marty B's. Thank you, Marty Bryan, for an awesome place.
Goodness gracious, it is an awesome place. And again, the outdoor, right? So you've got an outdoor music venue, you've got great food, good barbecue, and lots of space.
Lots of space. And the outside, there's one menu that they serve outside, or you could go sit inside at the restaurant and take full advantage of all of their offerings. And Marty B does a great job of sourcing his products from great farms and vendors around the area. So food's outstanding there. So that's a lot of fun. So really a huge shout out to Diego Stefani for creating in our little neck of the woods an amazing Italian food restaurant and experience with Gyro Pizza and Trattoria. So that place is outstanding. Yeah, and super fun place, right? Because it started, I mean, really the plan was to be a pizza place, and then has expanded, and he's such a good cook with such a good vision.
Has a good chef. I'm sorry. Yeah, chef. Better word.
Yeah, I mean, it was such an amazing vision. So, but like we're just so big here. I mean, we love to go to McKinney on the square. It has fantastic restaurants. The other day we explored around Las Colinas, which was so surprising, right? Brian used to go to Las Colinas all the time for work.
Yeah, so I traveled for business for many years when we came, and there was nothing in Las Colinas other than just high rises and towers. And now we
did a little staycation out there, and you were like, Las Colinas, there's nothing out there.
Right, so now there's the Toyota. There's a Toyota Music Factory. There's a ton of restaurants. There's an amazing South American place called Hugo's.
Yeah, that place was awesome. Went to dinner there. Cool vibe. Very cool vibe.
Fresh food.
Yeah. So Las Colinas, so many places to go explore in Dallas. And so, if you're feeling a little stuck, why don't you go explore a new restaurant, somewhere that's gives you a little drive and, a little something to do.
And tell us about it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Tell us about it because we would love to know and love to hear it.
Yeah. So, that's a lot about food. So make sure to tell us about your favorite foods, what places we should try, because we don't want to miss any of the good stuff.
So we talked about food. We talked about different areas. You want to talk a little real estate?
I do want to talk about real estate because as much as I love the food there, I mean, this real estate info is pretty fascinating. I mean,
maybe the only thing we love more than food is real estate. So
it's true. It's true.
So we'll do a little bit of compare and contrast. So both Austin and Dallas real estate markets are
on fire.
They are on fire. There is. It's one of the best sellers markets that we've seen since like 2014. In some places, it's actually since we've seen in like 2008.
Yeah.
Being a seller's market, and that's pre-crash 2008 when everything was super crazy hot. So Austin is very much that way. So we were just talking to a friend, who a fellow agent in Austin, and she was telling us a story about new construction.
Oh my gosh! So new construction is, of course, so popular right now because with being such a high sellers market, it's hard to get existing homes. And so a lot of people are looking to new builds right now. Well, in many areas of Austin, you can't just walk in and buy a new build because they don't have enough inventory. Yeah. And so you have to get into a lottery. You have to enter into a lottery where they draw names, and whatever lot gets chosen with your name is the lot you get.
You when with our kids, we say you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. And that is that's the real estate strategy for these new construction lots.
True statement. So Dallas is different. We have a lot of different areas, and we're so large out here. You can still get some awesome new builds out here.
So the Austin market is super hot, right? Because so many employers have moved in. They're building facilities there, whether it's Google or Apple, Tesla. It continues to be up for consideration in terms of Amazon and just a variety of major employers.
A lot of tech businesses out there.
So lots of tech businesses. Frankly, lots of high-paying jobs. Lots of high-paying jobs moving in mean that people coming from other areas, they got money, they got high-paying jobs, and they're driving prices in the Austin market out.
Yeah, you're going to need a good-paying job to live in Austin because the prices have gone up, and they are significantly higher than the DFW overall area.
Yeah, that's right. So what's interesting is that lots of businesses are moving into Dallas too, but I think because it is so much larger and because there are so many areas, there's still places in the suburbs to get incredibly affordable homes, and overall that keeps our median down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, 7 million people to 2 million people.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's, it's difficult to really compare that, but if you're looking to move to one of the cities and a price point is consideration, Dallas has more options for you. So what is the median sales price in Austin?
So the median price in Austin is $365K.
Okay.
So let's talk about median for the non-statistics people out there, the non-math folks. Median means half the homes sold have prices higher and half the homes sold have lower. That's not the average. That's the median. So it's squarely in the middle of price points. Now in Dallas, it's a very different number. That's 269,000.
269. That's a big difference. I mean, that's $100,000 difference.
So homes in Dallas, the median homes in Dallas are, $100,000 less expensive than those in Austin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What I think is so interesting too is, we were saying it's a really hot seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
And so those aren't just words we say, really, those are statistics. Brian's awesome at looking at statistics and studying them and understanding them. And so what makes a seller's market versus a buyer's market, and why are you saying that?
Yeah, good question. So a seller's market, when we look at the inventory, it's if we stopped selling homes today, if we stopped listing, putting new homes on the market today, how long would it take to sell every home?
Okay.
Just based on demand, how long would it take to sell every home? And generally, we look at a number between, 6 months, roughly less than 6 months is a seller's market. 6 is balanced, and anything more than that means that buyers have more negotiation power when buying a home. A lot of times we say that number's as low as 4, so between 4 to 6, it's kind of a balance.
Okay.
Well, right now in Austin, if we stopped listing homes today,
this is a shocking number.
They would all be sold in 1.1 months.
1 month.
It's like 5 weeks, right? So if we stopped listing homes today, then by January 10th, every home in Austin would be sold.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy number right there.
So what does that mean?
That means the sellers.
That means, look, if you're thinking about selling a home in Austin right now, brilliant time.
Yeah.
And you can. Right. In no market, you can't ask whatever you want.
Yeah.
But you certainly have more negotiation and more pricing power when selling a home in Austin right now than in many, many places in the country.
And you have to consider when you're selling your house, price is one factor, but there's also several other factors that could go into that can make it more valuable to you. So a lot of people think, oh, spring, you got to wait till spring. Well, this market's telling us with 1.1 months of inventory in Austin, now's a good time to sell if you want to move quickly.
You know what? Selling a house is a beauty pageant. I mean, it is a straight up beauty pageant, right? So, and the way you win contests or beauty pageant, if there's fewer contestants, your odds go up, right? Fewer contestants, the odds go up.
So the Dallas market, in contrast, obviously the Dallas market, like we've talked about so many times today, is so much larger.
Yeah.
And so you would think that number would be quite a bit higher, really. But the reality is we're at 2.2 months.
Yeah, 2.2.
So we're 6 weeks or
just over 8 to 10.
Yeah, 8 to 10 weeks. And everything in the Dallas market would be sold. I mean, that's
exactly right. So we've got enough inventory to get us to February,
mm-hmm.
but that's about it. So if you're thinking about moving, right? If you're thinking about making a move, then again, now is a terrific time to sell. I just talked to somebody yesterday. We're going to meet today, and then we're going on the market. So
mm-hmm.
In all cases, though, that makes new construction a great option.
Yeah.
We just helped some people move into town from out of town in Texas, and somebody else moving in town from Seattle. And we were able to find both of them homes, negotiate a great deal for both of them. So it still is absolutely possible. You just need to work with the right folks, and we can help you do that. So
yeah, absolutely. And new builds right now, the price points of those are pretty high, but there's so many price saving advantages of new builds.
So
and we'd love to help talk you through that, because even though your price point's higher, your monthly expenses actually can even out quite nicely in a new build. Yeah,
in one of the new construction homes we sold this weekend. Yeah, it's a smaller home. It's about 2,000 feet, 2,200 feet, something like that. The expected utility bill on that is $65 a month.
$65 a month.
$65
mm-hmm.
a month.
Which, our house is pretty big, and ours on average is about $450 a month. So that's a significant amount of money. Yeah, it gets a lot higher than that in the summer.
I was going to go with
it's lower in the winter.
I was just going to go with more.
It's
more than 65.
Goodness,
that hurts.
I know. Okay, so well, I'm not even going to tell you the high number, because the high number does punch in the gut a little.
No crying on video.
Let's talk a little bit about one of the things I just want to talk about Austin versus Dallas.
Okay.
Is stuff to do,
because
this really makes a huge difference. And they really have kind of different vibes when it comes to stuff to do in terms of overall.
And neither one of them is necessarily right or wrong. It's just like, okay, what are you into? What's important to you? And it's good to know where you're going to be a better fit.
You know, Austin, really Austin, kind of south of Austin, they really call the hill country. It's very beautiful. And because of that, it's a really good area for a lot of outdoor playtime, you know, getting outside, lots of trees. Some of the most beautiful lakes run through Lake Austin, right through the cities, just absolutely beautiful terrain. So a lot of stuff's outdoor. The Lake Austin, Lake Travis, you have Zilker Park, just an incredible park out there. You have tubing right around there. So because you have the hill, go out tubing.
Yeah, New Braunfels is famous for tubing, and just what a blast.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So there's also an amazing music scene out in Austin. I mean, one of the things we had the privilege of going to a few times was that Austin City Limits.
They have several festivals.
Yeah, several festivals.
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Not doing that right now. So, but
their venues smaller, they're more intimate, so they're super cool from that. A lot of fun nightlife there in Austin too.
Yeah, it's kind of like a secondary. So, you know, Nashville is widely considered kind of the music scene mecca here in the United States, and Austin's a close second, right? There's a thriving music scene, people up and coming, playing a lot. You can hear a lot of great live music.
And of course, it has the University of Texas kind of right in the middle there of Austin, and
which may or may not be a plus depending on
where you went
to
school. So, but it's still a huge you know, drives a lot of Austin's vibe there.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely. It is definitely a college town. It's growing out of being a college town. But a lot of the activities, a lot of communication is centered around that, which one of the leads to maybe one of the downsides of Austin is not just the University of Texas. As an Aggie, that's the thing. So, but one of the downsides is there's no professional sports. So if you like the NBA, NFL, baseball, any of those kinds of things, then you have to go out of town, either to San Antonio, Houston, or Dallas to see those.
True story. So so then let's talk about that versus Dallas. Like, Dallas is such a massive city. I always say you can find anything you want to do in Dallas.
Yeah, you can get just about everything.
Yeah, you can, you know, within 50 minutes away, you could get to just about everything, including, you know, just sports. I mean, you have the Cowboys, you have the Rangers, you have the Stars. You also have the Mavericks, you have FC Dallas. I mean, you have everything you want. Texas Motor Speedway.
Pick your sport. Yeah, Texas Motor. That's exactly right. I can't say it, but it's exactly right. Out there on the, out here on the west side of town. So really, when it comes to sports, there is something for everybody.
Yes.
In the market. So.
And you also have like really big. We have theme parks. Like, you know, we have a huge Six Flags here. We have water parks out here. I mean, there's a ton of activity like that out here, and we would have to, you know, come out this way to the same thing, either come out this way or go to San Antonio to hit big water parks and stuff. So
yeah, so we talked a lot about Austin having outdoor activities, and what we don't want to say is that that's not available in Dallas, right? There are a number of lakes, there are a variety of areas and parks, and they're even trying to build more and more of that down near Dallas, the Trinity River complex, and a lot of stuff that they're building. So there's still a ton of that. It's just, it's very much central to the culture and kind of vibe of Austin.
That's good.
Where in Dallas is just one of many things that you can do.
And in fact, in Dallas, we have so many amazing master plan communities that really draw people out to do outdoor stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They've got hiking trails, there are dog parks and biking, and a lot of that are even like some pools that are so large that they've got like stand-up paddleboarding in them and kayaks available in the neighborhood pool.
The neighborhood pool, yes, absolutely. So we have some very cool neighborhoods that force you to get outside and meet some neighbors. And then the last thing really that, I mean, we have the Dallas Zoo. Oh. We have the Fort Worth Zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, these zoos are like incredible. Yeah. I mean, incredible places to go, incredible zoos, some of the best.
Yeah, I think the best zoos in the country are are Fort Worth, San Diego, and maybe St. Louis. So the three best in the country. It is just awesome. It's a lot of fun. The Audubon Society there in Fort Worth, the Fort Worth Stockyards, is just a great attraction and really cool for kids. There's a lot to do down there, and it brings back that we've kind of gotten away from the old school Texas, the old school cowboys, horseback riding, that sort of stuff, and
stockyards.
Getting the stockyards gives you that that old time feel.
That's super fun. Let's see. So I lived in Austin for 12 years. I think I'm going on 13 years in Dallas. So I have a clear winner in my mind.
Oh, do you? Okay. So, I kind of grew up here in Dallas. So, being back here, for me, Dallas is a clear winner, mainly because we live here now. We live here. So it's got to be better for all of you guys too, right? Dallas has to be the winner just because that's where we're at. What about you?
Yeah. So for me, Dallas is the winner as well. And I'll have to tell you, I cried when we left Austin. I loved it there. I had amazing friends, loved our house. I loved our neighborhood. I loved our schools. I really loved it there. But when we moved up to Dallas and we realized just in this little pocket out here, but we could get to everything we wanted to do within 50 minutes, we fell in love with the city.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Plus your husband lived here.
Plus you were here and we brought our kids here. We brought our kids with us. That was good. Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
It's
and,
good
and then now we've made the world's best friends here, and we love our churches here. And so, we just really love this area, but you can love either of them because they're amazing places.
They're both amazing places. Great food. Dallas is a more affordable spot. You can definitely get more home for the money. It doesn't quite have the scenery and the beauty that you might get in Austin. So, if you are thinking about making a move between cities, let us know. If you're moving to Texas and just want to make some connections in whatever city around Texas, we've got great real estate friends across the state, and we'd love to help you.
Absolutely. You guys, it was awesome topic today. We loved being with you guys today. Thanks a bunch, and we will see you next Wednesday for more fun topics.